I'm Pastor Chris Ward, and I would like to welcome you to part 2 of Countdown to Jubilee, Blood Moon Tetrads. This is the most exciting part of the video series, and it discusses the introduction of Christianity in the end times scenario. What I hope to demonstrate is that Jesus Christ has been actively involved in the end times eschatology, especially for the last 100 years, as we start into the history and discover that General Allenby retook Jerusalem on December 28th of 1917. Many Christians are unaware of the fact that during World War I, the battles were fought with the Allies of Europe against Germany and the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was a caliph of Muslims that took place all the way from Byzantine to the Arab area. In addition, during that war, while they were having trench fighting in Europe, a General Edmund Allenby was sent to the Sinai and Palestine area to fight battles there against the Ottoman Empire. Unknown to the public, there was a secret mission in which General Edmund Allenby was asked to take back Jerusalem. The process of the return of the Jewish people to their homeland really began during World War I. A British general, Edmund Allenby, was a devoted Christian who read his Bible on a daily basis. As the British headed toward Jerusalem to take the city from the Turkish army, he was moved on by God to take the city peacefully. Allenby was a believer in the Bible prophecy, and he sent to Palestine to remove the Turkish Empire and re-establish the nation of Israel by his government. On December 10, 1917, Allenby asked God, "How can we take this city and not destroy it?" The Lord spoke to him out of Isaiah 31:5. "As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over he will preserve it." This was the battle strategy that the Lord gave General Allenby. General Allenby asked God, "What does this mean? How can this happen? How can this take place?" So he decided, "I'll get every airplane I can get my hands on in all the Middle East. I can bring them in and fly them in close formation over Jerusalem." At that time, the Turks and the Arabs had not seen many airplanes. Many had never seen an airplane at all. Allenby had them fill up the planes with leaflets. He wrote in the leaflets in Arabic, "Surrender the city today." Allenby. The Arab interpreter did not write the name right on the leaflet and wrote Allah-Bey, which means Son of God to Muslims. You can imagine the Muslims of the city having never seen an airplane, and a whole group of them all of a sudden dropping leaflets from the Son of God telling them to get out of town. The scripture said, "Passing over the city, I will preserve it and defend it." Only God knows how to interpret his word. Allenby was sent by God to open Jerusalem back up for the Jews, but it was just the beginning, and that would not become a reality until May 12th of 1948. You can imagine what happened. General Edmund Allenby took the entire city of Jerusalem without firing a shot. This is the first time in over 1,000 years that Jerusalem was not occupied by Muslims. The Ottoman Empire retired, and even in that year, defeated in battle, the Ottoman Empire was forced to redistribute these lands to the neighboring countries, and most of this area, Palestine and Sinai Peninsula, went to the British Empire. The important principle I hope you get out of this study is that General Allenby took back Jerusalem, and he was a Christian. Now, many people think that Christians are Gentiles, but that's not the case. When you become a Christian, you become a brother in the Lord, and Jesus even says in the book of Revelation that you will become kings and priests and serve with me for 1,000 years. So the reality is, this is the date at the end of the time of the Gentiles, when Christians took back Jerusalem in 1917. We're going to see that this doesn't happen again for another 50 years before Israel becomes a nation. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, David Lloyd George, described the capture as a Christmas present for the British people. General Allenby remarked, "The wars of the Crusaders are now complete. This battle was a great moral victory for the British Empire. One final note. This final battle took place on December 11th, which was Hanukkah in the year 1917. In part 3, we're going to take a closer look at the blood red moons. This is Pastor Chris Ward saying thank you for listening.